All right. Good enough? Okay. So we have this team. He Who Smites is my friend. He's the one who asked me to look at this. He's going to be playing top lane, but like I said, I'm going to mostly be covering
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Their team mechanics. So they're invading. Looks like they're going for blue. I don't think Nocturne saw them. Yeah. This is a pretty standard invade.
"30 seconds until minions spawn."
So I don't really know why they backed out. I guess the first thing I would note is they didn't see anyone, so they might as well at least check this bush and try to get a kill. They didn't know where anyone was, but if they face check as 5, it doesn't really matter who's there.
Minions have spawned.
I also don't know why I'd start blue. In general, you want to go for the level 3, which means you want to start red and then go blue. I don't really like. I'm kind of curious if what was being said in Skype at the time. But it would make sense to go red. At some point, you would probably discover your blue is gone, and at that point, you could. Like, it was kind of good because you chased them off, but you had no idea that we're there. So there's no reason to go there. If you were around here, the first thing you should have done was invade this bush. Second thing you should have done was take red, and then either take their blue afterwards, if you find out your blue is gone in a timely manner. So Aatrox should be checking your blue. And you should be going for red, and then if your blue is gone, you take their blue. If your blue isn't gone, you take your blue. So you ended up burning Clash on Jarvan. But you still started at the right time. AD carry should be leashing, because this just puts your jungler behind. It's kind of interesting. Both junglers are starting red, which is something I haven't even seen since like Season 2. That's a really late potion. That should have already been taken. So you're contesting blue, and you just want to take it before he gets there. There's no reason to be in the bush. You want to pull it. Yeah, if you had pulled it in the correct direction instead of pulling into the bush, if you had pulled it down, you would have seen Nocturne coming. You're letting him walk up behind you when you do that. So far, a lot of jungle mistakes. Like really, really big jungle mistakes. Anyway, I guess I'll just look at top until laning phase is over, since there's not a whole lot to say. So your jungler is really far behind, so he can't really gank anything. And probably can't counter gank anything. But you can. Well, he's gonna take blue in theory, and then maybe come top. But yeah, this is scary because Nocturne's expecting it. So Nocturne's looking for the counter gank, and we'll see if that's what happens. Their positioning is not great. Nocturne, well, I think Nocturne's just waiting for Draven, so it's fine. But there's no reason to be close to this bush. You have no idea what's in there. Yeah. Luckily, you play a character with escapes, so it doesn't really matter. But now you're quite low. So yeah, it's a good thing that Jarvan didn't go top because that counter game could have been really bad for you guys. You should be attacking for your heal. You should be constantly autoing, I think, whenever you can. Like, the lane is pushing away from you right now, so you don't get anything by waiting. Like, you're not gonna freeze the lane anyway, so if you constantly auto, you get health back. Or if you don't think you can be here safely, if you think Nocturne's still here, then you should just be recalling. Like, they would have killed you if Nocturne was there. It wouldn't have. You're like playing safely doesn't do anything for you against Nocturne. Alright, let's see if this works out. Landing that would have been good. We would have gotten the kill. Whatever, that was a good call by whoever decided that Jarvan should come top though. That would have been a kill if you guys played a little bit better. Alright, so right now, let's take a look at how your team is doing. You have... Well, let me organize these by lane. Alright, so you're losing currently in 3 lanes, but not by too much. You're losing bot lane the most. And now you're winning mid lane by a little bit, yeah. So good job, Syndra. Or Nomad, is it the word? Nomad? I'm not sure. Yeah, so there's not really a whole lot of team plays you can make yet. It's pretty much just a kind of a boring laning phase. Nocturne isn't doing anything except kind of walking around. And Jarvan is still behind, so there's not a whole lot of pressure he can exert. Right now, I think the best thing to do would be for Jarvan to show a bot and help push down this tower, or to gank top since top is pushed. But because bot is a little bit behind, it might not be safe to... Well, Lane still hasn't bot, so it might actually be safe to dive. I'm not entirely sure. I just know that tower dives are a pretty important part of the traditional ranked 5s metagame. Like at this point, the jungler should be exerting more pressure. Going bot right now is pretty useless, and I wouldn't farm either. I think Jarvan should be going top right now. Oh, but if you're gonna do a coordinated thing, that could be cool. Ooh, that would have been really nice. So that was a nice try, but I think it would be more productive if Jarvan came top. That could have definitely been executed better. So your blue is going to come up soon? That's probably your next goal as the jungler. I'm mostly talking about the jungler just because the jungler is responsible for all the plays in the laning phase. So as far as team plays go, it's mostly just, hey jungler come here, hey jungler come here. Yeah, so you should be at your blue and not taking ranks. So you could take blue and then gank something. Syndra might have to solo blue. Alright, so now is a good point to make a play. I think Aatrox is going to go back and buy something. After helping that. Nope, not yet. You could buy Bilgewater, I think, with 900. And then the lane would have pushed to your tower by the time you got back to lane, and you could farm it. So now you just kind of put yourself behind by not going back there. All right, Jarvan. I think waiting for Cinder Stun would be the best course of action there. It's really easy to land Cinder Stun. It's a lot harder to land Jarvan's EQ, especially now with the nerfs. Generally, when I play jungle, I really like to make moves for dragon. Like right now, like there's a lot of time when nothing's happening at all. And it's from both junglers, so if... that was pretty bad. So if either jungler was trying to take towers or dragon, this would be a completely different game, but right now it's really like laning dependent, and especially since you guys are losing your lane in every single lane, it would be better if you went for objectives. You could do something like shoving out bot, going mid, shoving out bot, taking dragon, shoving top, taking mid, shoving mid, and then roaming. Syndra hasn't roamed at all, except for that one unsuccessful gank bot. Dragon isn't pinked. Like, there's a lot of... It's kind of hard to say like what you're doing wrong because you're not doing anything. So you just have to do something. Like think of an objective to take and then see what you can do to take it. Having us your support by wards would be good, or like pink wards. Like you can just pink your lane before you get bot. Like Sona has an oracles, and it's not like she's that far ahead. She got a kill, but you know, instead of buying a scythe, then you could buy 2 pinks and however many wards. So it's kind of like, as a jungler, I will never show a bot unless the support has pinks, because this always happens. There's always these 3 wards, or at least 2 wards, and it's really hard to get in there unless there's something pink. Alright, so you're going back with a ton of gold, which is good. I'm gonna buy Bilgewater and boots of some sort, probably. Alright, so your Syndra is doing work. This probably can't be a dragon. His bot lane is still behind. So yeah, you're probably going to want to go back. Jarvan's doing a lot of farming, a lot more farming than I would expect from Jarvan. Which isn't even working because he's still behind Nocturne. Like, Jarvan is such an aggressive ganker in the early game, and even after level 6. Like you should be using your ult every time it's up, and you've ulted twice, I think. This game could work. Let's see. There we go. So now you could they should be taking dragon, but you could mosey on down there. You have vision of it. See you, good looking.
Red team double kill.
Yeah, you didn't really know where Nocturne was, so I think it would have been better to move down to dragon. Or to take top tower, but I guess it worked out because Nocturne didn't go for either of those. He didn't cover top and he didn't go for dragon, at least not quickly enough, so you had time to take both top and hopefully defend dragon. It's 2v3, but they have dragon on them, so yeah, they don't want to do it. I don't blame them. Especially since Syndra is huge. So that worked out. In general though, when you get a kill, you want to really start pushing objectives. So after you killed Jack's top, it should have been like, oh, let's go take something instead of blue, like something bigger than blue, mid or top or dragon. But it worked out okay. So you've had some success with this gank. So you're trying it again? And his flash is down now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so driving for ult. That was really poorly coordinated. You should have both kept going on. I don't know how low you were, but well, let me check. Yeah, like you should have realized that Jarvan can ult and kept chasing. You probably just wanted to heal, but in this case, you knew you were going, like, it was a guaranteed kill. If you realized that his flash cooldown was down. And then landing skill shots also important. I think you get him anyway. No? No, you don't, yeah. So that was on Aatrox. And this time, they actually reacted and took dragon, so... Ganking top is it. And dragon control is, I think, a more important thing. So yeah, aside from like the execution areas of this gank, also I just don't think ganking top is worth it, especially after you take his tower. Because you really want dragon to be down. So I would ignore bot at this point, and not, like I guess you're saving the tower, but I think you could actually just take mid so easily with how enormous Syndra is. So it makes sense for Jarvan to just go, mid and try to take that. But buffs are up, so you want to take that first. fine. That was good in theory, but you needed the auto before you ulted. As Caitlyn. I keep saying you to like everyone, like I'm talking to 5 people at once, but I meant Caitlyn in that case. Alright, so this should be bot tower. And immediately you should be taking mid. No one should be recalling. This should be mid. You have a kill mid, you just took a tower. They're under enormous pressure, and 2 people are recalling. This is like a huge mistake. Mid tower would be gone if both of bot lane went mid. So that's pretty drastic. Pretty much every time you get a kill anywhere on the map, someone should be going, okay, let's take mid, let's take top, let's take dragon, let's take red, let's take baron, whatever. Inhibitor nexus, whatever. So pretty much never should you see people instantly recalling after you get a kill.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
But I guess you got it anyway. So I guess I have to eat my words because you only needed 2 people. But I definitely would have gone mid with if I was playing Caitlyn or Thresh.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Anyway, laning is officially over. So that's good. And now you kind of want to look at what objective you have to take or defend. In general, at this point in the game, when your mid tower is up and theirs is down, you're going to see them grouping 5 mid. Or 4 mid and 1 top, I guess. But you kind of have to react to what they're going to do. And it looks like they're still laning, which means that your most effective bet is probably to push top out and then push mid and bot. You can split push bot with either with your AD carry or with Aatrox. So like right now, I think Aatrox should push this out, go back, and then you should do a 4-1 split mid and bot. Because you want to defend these towers, and you'll have enough time to react to Jack split pushing top. And you want to apply pressure in the areas where you have your towers. Like right now, you should be going back. You're not gonna get this tower, I don't think. Well, I guess you can push to it, so that's fine. But then as soon as Jax shows up here, you want to be applying pressure mid and bot. So yeah, what needs to be more decisive in that. So either go mid or go back and then go mid. And Syndra should be going mid. You should just be pressuring the lanes. Like the ganking phase is kind of over. You don't really need to roam because you're ahead as a team, and you need to make stuff happen. So in this case, Syndra is kind of wasting her fedness. Never mind, Syndra's way better than I thought.
Blue team double kill.
But I keep saying never mind to things, which isn't good. Makes me think that Syndra's better at roaming than I am, which is true because I'm really bad at roaming. But I think you should be pressuring mid still. So I guess it's correct that if you know how to roam, which this guy obviously does better than I do, that's good. But you still need to be putting pressure in the correct lanes. So you needed to have probably 2 mid, 3 bot, or 1-1-3, something like that. Because you lost your mid turret. And Aatrox didn't really protect anything. So I think the biggest thing that you could have changed in that particular scenario was just put Aatrox mid instead of top. But that was really good by Syndra. She's pressuring her advantage a lot better than I thought she did. because you know Jax isn't here, so that's good. But you are gonna give up Dragon, I think, because someone has to go top, and most of you have to recall. Well, no, they're not gonna take it. They could take it. It's 3v0. They're gonna take bot instead. Alright, so everyone just went back and healed, which means you're 5 again. And you just bought, so your next objective should be Dragon. You know where all of them are, you know they didn't take Dragon. So you could rush it. Especially since you just had a fight and you know everyone blew all their cooldowns. Or, you know, not all, but some of them, like Nocturne's ult is down, Flash. Whatever. Jarvan mechanics? Of course. Aatrox should have moved. With Jax, probably. Oh, that's rough. That's greedy. But yeah, so that's kind of what I expected to happen before, where Syndra's trying to get kills instead of objectives, and the first time it worked really well, but I think if you had gone for Dragon instead, you could have taken it for free without doing the chase, the weird Lux chasing thing. It's kind of a playstyle difference. I just really don't like roaming, I guess. I think it's a lot more consistent to just go for objectives straight up. Like, stand on the objective, wait for them to come, and then fight there. Caitlyn should have trapped the dragon. Position. Darwin's flash is down. Yeah, there's no reason to contest that, really. There's... Like, if you give up an objective, I guess you can, but in general, I would only attempt that if I had flash up or if their jungler wasn't there. So the smite steal was more likely. Because this way, it's 50-50 and you're gonna die regardless. So it's losing odds for you if you steal the dragon. Or for stealing the dragon. And again, now you're all up, and you want to be doing something. So your objective, again, should probably be some sort of split push mid and bot. And the reason for that is you want to take this inhibitor. Or top or bot could be fine. So like 4-0-1 maybe. You really want to be pushing. We're gonna take Baron. Yeah. It's kind of like the more things you do, the less options they have, and because all 3 of your lanes are pushed, like without, it's kind of hard to like. I don't know. I guess I'm just not that good at rank 5, but it kind of seems like you could have done something there that would have spooked them away from Baron. If after this is like a minute before that. So you all went bot, or 2 people went bot to stop this from pushing, when only 1 person needed to. And 2 jungle camps are taken instead of lanes being pushed out. Like at this moment in time, only the 1 support is in a lane pushing, and everyone else is busy doing something that like doesn't put any pressure on the map at all. So like each person individually should be identifying how they're going to pressure their opponent, which for Caitlyn should be I'm gonna push out bot. For Thresh it should be I'm gonna probably ward Baron, or at least put some wards on the map. Syndra should be pushing mid. Jarvan should be, or I guess Syndra can take blue since. Well, Aatrox took it, but Syndra can take blue. Jarvan and Aatrox should be pushing out lanes. So you don't really want like quiet moments when you're taking 3 jungle camps and have no wards on that map. Because nobody's applying any sort of pressure, and that kind of just gave him Baron. Like, this naked inhibitor hasn't been pressured since you got here. This hasn't even like gotten past river. Even though it's a pretty obvious objective. Go over the wall. Reach check. Alright, so the game is a little bit different now because you're heavily on the defensive, you're no longer winning. But it's kind of more straightforward to defend in this situation because you just, like, you know they have Baron, you know people are down, and you just need to clear waves. There's no objectives except towers, and they win fights, so all you have to do is sit at your towers for the next few minutes. Whoops, so I'm going to just fast forward a little bit and see what they do. Taking jungle camps is still pretty useless. You could be top instead. But I guess that doesn't matter right now because they're not pressuring anything. But I prefer to take jungle camps only when there's nothing else to take. And I think top should be pushed out past river before I would take jungle camps. You should be top. You can't hesitate on stuff like that. Like, you had a pretty big window where like you went top and you're like, where should I be? So you need to be in a lane pushing it past the river. That's the basic, like, they have Baron play, is push stuff past river. Like, keep pushing this past river. You don't need to 5-man waves. A lot of downtime. Buying oracles right after it's a Baron is a waste of money, I think, because you're not going to use it for the next 4 minutes. That was a big mistake by Thresh. You don't want to engage on them off of tower 4v5 against Baron. Okay, but so if you had pushed a little bit harder in bot, then this wouldn't be a problem. If Caitlyn had gone bot instead of taking Wolves and Wraiths, or sorry, Golems and Wraiths, then you wouldn't have to worry about this pushing toward you, and you would only have to worry about defending this tower. Right now you have to worry about both. You're probably going to have to give up this tower because Thresh is dead. But we'll see how well Syndra can clear these waves. Oh, there's good back shit. Okay. Alright. Yeah, Lux Snare is pretty good. So they're going to take inhibitor off that. At that point, you're just really targeted.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
They're going to take an inhibitor and probably rotate bot if they're good.
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
Nope, they're not good. They're going to push this. I don't think they're going to finish though. Oh my goodness.
Shut down.
That's pretty brutal. I would have just taken bot instead of doing this silly bullshit. Because they got a tower, but this tower had been guaranteed. And they got caught on the way out.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, at this point though, like, you kind of have to defend until your inhibitor's back up, and you're on the you're really heavily on the defensive. So I think you're just going to lose before the inhibitor comes back up, or that's what it looks like, judging by the time. So there's, if you were like Gambit Gaming, you would be taking Dragon somehow. I have no idea how the fuck you would do it, but that's what they do. They just lose inhibitors and then take objectives anyway. But like realistically, if you're not as well coordinated as a pro team and not as confident, then you're not going to be able to do anything when your inhibitor is down, and you're losing by almost 10k. Yeah, I think they can take an inhibitor off of that. Yeah, at this point you're just really far behind. But I might as well finish watching.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed. Ace.
Alright, so
Been destroyed.
I guess the summary would be of this game is I don't think they were any better coordinated than you guys were. Neither team was particularly good at grouping and sort of pushing objectives. But they had one good play, which is the sort of blind Baron. They had it pinked, and they saw you guys bot, so they were just like, okay, take it. Which was somewhere here. But I think the biggest difference, honestly, this game is just individual skill. You lost all of your lanes, except mid. And even though mid won by a lot, it was it turned into a really good push bot, but that was the only thing that mid did with his advantage. So I think if you guys all got better at individually, or if you guys just grouped for objectives more, like this dragon should have been yours. But like Caitlyn wasn't there, Syndra wasn't there. And like, I think you definitely had time to show up
Red team has slain the dragon.
and at least maybe turn the fight around. As well as you could have just taken it earlier. If you go back like a minute, when the whole Lux debacle happened, right? Here we are, like a little bit, like 2 minutes earlier almost. So right now you have 4 people at Dragon. 2 of them are recalled, and instead of taking Dragon, you chase Lux for like 2 minutes, and then Thresh gets caught and dies, and then they take Dragon. So, like this is kind of just, it's a playstyle difference. I think the Syndra really likes to roam. I really like to take Dragon, but I think in this scenario, like taking Dragon would have been so much better. Aside from that, there's a lot of individual players getting caught or not being in the right place. So, like, for instance, I mentioned right after this, Thresh kind of goes. Where is Thresh? Oh, Thresh is already here, sorry. So Thresh is like, oh, Lux is really low. I'm gonna go get her. And gets put in this position, which is not good. Thing dies, and then we Dragon. Thresh gets caught in another point, and I think Aatrox does a lot of not pushing top when I think he should be. I know I play a champion that's a lot more, or a lot better at split pushing than Aatrox is, or pushing in general. So I might be biased in that sense, but I think there's a bunch, like even here, taking wolves when you have this farm available doesn't really make sense. So in my mind, I kind of go, oh, are any of the lanes pushed past river towards us? I'm gonna go farm those, and then if all of the lanes are pushed past river against them, like heading in their direction, and their jungle camps up, and I happen to be next to them, then I'll take them, and it's fine. But there seems to be a lot of like rotating through jungle camps. Like here, you should be pushing this instead of taking golems. Because farm doesn't really do anything unless you do something with it. And if you're gonna do something with it, then like you have to do something with it at some point. So you can farm up if you're going for a specific goal, but if you're just farming the whole game, it doesn't really do anything.
Red team has slain the dragon.
So I kind of want to point out the specific instances. The Baron one was the biggest one. Let me go find it. It was a little bit after that dragon, I think. Or was it already over? Oh, here we go. So the lead up to them taking Baron was, yeah, it was actually right after this dragon. So they realized, or I guess not quite yet. They take blue. They recall. Jarvan comes up, and then after this, Baron is still unwarded. Even though you have a pretty good window, you know that they were just at Dragon, so the support could easily go up and ward Baron by himself. Aside from Jax stopping you, there's nothing else. And then you have, I think, 2 people go bot. Oh, that's kind of interesting. The minimap is bugged. Yeah, I might be in here by myself. But I'm going to upload this and then have Colin watch it, so it's fine. So yeah, two people go bot, which isn't great. Like, Thresh doesn't need to be here. I know you're stopping the minions from pushing to the tower, but after you've done that, you could go up. I don't like, this is really tough because you're so far like in your own base because top and bot weren't pushed out in time and because nothing is awarded. That I don't think like the mistake is even here. Like it's not even going bot. It's just that you don't have control. So they can, they just pink Baron. They're like, well, no one's there, and then there's 2 to bot. I guess we're taking it. And I think the fact that Aatrox took blue by accident from Syndra probably caused like a what the fuck in Skype, which obviously leads to having no idea what's going on for the next like 30 seconds. So it's just kind of like this is like more of a good play by them than really a terrible play by you guys, but it's still just awkward having everyone be completely not pressuring anything, far away from Baron with nothing warded. Like, you don't want to put yourself in that position. Especially since you have 3 wards, actually. You should have placed those at some point. Instead of 3 manning blue, you could have gone and placed wards. So, and before that, it was all about just identifying like which lane to push. You should have group bot taken that after you took this tower. I guess it's a little bit later in the game, but the minimap is bugged right now. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say what like huge mistakes you made as a team because it feels like a lot of them were individual plays, getting caught, missing skill shots, stuff like that. That would have been the easiest way to win the game, is just get more kills and do better in lane. And apply a lot more pressure as a jungler. Dustin, what the fuck? Anyway, I think that's all I got. I don't know how useful it is, but since this is my first time ever looking at a ranked 5s replay, those are kind of all the thoughts that sprung to my mind. I'm mostly a solo queue player, so a lot of my advice might be off point or just wrong. But hopefully it helps a little bit.